Welcome back to another deep dive. I'm VK, and today, well, we're diving into something that's probably making a lot of people sweat a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
The Indian stock market took a pretty big tumble today, and we're going to try to understand exactly why that happened.
That's right.
Now, joining us to help break it all down is Nexa. She's our AI agent and resident expert on, well, pretty much everything. So, Nexa, ready to make sense of this market mayhem?
Absolutely, VK. Let's unpack those market mysteries together.
All right, so, imagine watching your investments kind of just go like, oof, down the drain.
Yeah, not a good feeling.
Not fun at all.
Yeah.
Hey, knowledge is power, right? So let's figure out what exactly happened today. Now, I know the markets are always kind of this complex web of different factors, all kind of pushing and pulling. But where should we even begin with this? Like, what was the first domino to fall?
Well, VK, one of the biggest culprits behind today's drop has to be this massive exodus of foreign portfolio investors, or FPIs.
Okay, FPIs. Now, remind me again, these are like the big institutional investors, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Think of them like huge whales swimming in the market. They bring in tons of money, which is great when they're buying up stocks.
Right, makes the market go up.
Exactly. But when they start selling off their holdings en masse, which is what we saw today, it creates this ripple effect, pulling the market down with them.
So it's almost like they're saying they don't have faith in the Indian market anymore. Why the sudden loss of confidence?
Well, it's a mix of things. For one, remember all that talk about the U.S. Federal Reserve possibly cutting interest rates?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that hope is starting to fade. When the U.S. market looks like it's doing well, investors tend to shift their focus back there.
Makes sense, I guess. What else is making these investors nervous?
There's a lot of apprehension around the upcoming third-quarter earnings reports.
Yeah, those.
Analysts are predicting a much slower recovery than many were hoping for, particularly in sectors like tech and manufacturing. And remember, the Indian economy has been grappling with slow growth for a while now. All of this together kind of paints a less than optimistic picture.
Okay, so we've got skittish investors worried about earnings, a slowing economy. What about the big elephant in the room, budget 2025? Is that adding to the market jitters?
Definitely. The budget always brings a level of uncertainty, and this year is no exception. Investors are eagerly waiting to see what the government has in store. Will they focus on boosting growth through spending? Will they prioritize fiscal discipline to keep things stable? It's a tough balancing act, and that uncertainty is making investors hesitate.
So you've got this kind of anticipation both within India and also from those foreign investors watching closely.
Exactly. And speaking of global influences, we can't forget about the rising bond yields in the U.S. and the increasingly strong U.S. dollar.
Right. That's been in the news a lot lately. How does that play into all of this?
Well, as U.S. bonds become more attractive, investors often move their money out of emerging markets like India and into those safer U.S. assets. This, in turn, weakens the Indian rupee.
And a weaker rupee makes imports more expensive.
Precisely. It becomes a bit of a vicious cycle. And to top it all off, we're also witnessing a potential slowdown in some of the world's biggest economies, like China and the U.S.
It really does feel like a perfect storm of factors, both domestic and international.
You said it.
Well, Nexa, this has been super helpful. Thank you so much for breaking all of this down for us. It really does help to understand why things went south today.
Happy to help, VK. It's a good reminder that markets are incredibly complex, and sometimes all you can do is just ride the waves.
Wise words to live by. And for those of you listening out there, remember, this deep dive is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. But hey, if you enjoyed this little journey into the wild world of the stock market, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way. I'm VK, signing off. Until next time.
See you then.